4 pillars of the American Legion and the preamble to the Constitution of the American Legion and its 10 clauses. What's interesting about these 2 items is that we only really mention one of the 4 pillars directly in the 10 clauses. Does anyone have any idea which pillar we mentioned and where it's located? Sir? Americanism. Now, we indirectly reference the other 3 pillars, but only with Americanism do we directly mention it. In the 3rd clause of the preamble, to foster and perpetuate a 100% Americanism. Does anyone understand or know why our founders in 1919, when they were creating this organization, chose to only mention one pillar? Anyone? I don't know the answer. I thought maybe you would know it. But that being said, I'd like to tell you my short story about Americanism. You see, I was recruited for the Legion by someone who would eventually become my mentor in the organization. Robert Bowles, USMC Vietnam. May he rest in peace. And the way the story goes is when my children were smaller, we visited our local Walmart, and they were acting up that day. And my Legion post happened to have a tent set up in front of Walmart. So I walk up. Mr. Bowles says, "Hey, are you a veteran?" "Yes, I am a veteran." "Thank you for your service." "I got it, Roger. I got to get inside. These kids are getting on my nerves." "Well, let me tell you about the American Legion." I'm like, "Dude, I do not want to join your French Foreign Legion He-Man Woman-Haters Club." Can you not see that my kids are misbehaving? So, me and my family went in. I felt a little bad about the interaction. So on my way out, I stopped to talk to Robert. And he tried to connect with me. "Hey, what do you do? What are your hobbies?" So forth and so on. And eventually we connected on scouting. I was a Boy Scout. Both of my kids were Scouts. So he said, "Hey, we have a Cub Scout pack at our post and we need a little help. Can you come and help us organize it?" And he got me. So being a Scouter and from a family of Scouts, it was pretty easy for me to organize the pack. I was the liaison, what we call in scouting the COR, Chartered Organizational Representative. And basically the way it works is with each scouting unit, they have a main organization. 70% of the time, it's a church. Okay? Then you have the scouting unit, which is chartered by that organization. And what the COR does is he or she is the liaison between both organizations. He translates so that they understand each other. He or she is a member, in this particular example, of the congregation, and they're also a formal member of the scouting organization. So I really love that. But being a scout, that was pretty easy. But I was already a member of the American Legion. So when I looked up, I started to look across what eventually I would recognize as the programs of Pillar 3. So I was like, "Hey, what's this boy state thing? Is that for juvenile badasses who, you know, the parents didn't take out the belt and take care of them?" No, it's not. So I learned about Boy State, joined that staff. What's this high school oratorical thing? About the Constitution. Found out about that, right? Oh, by the way, my post hadn't had a competition in several years. So then we revitalized our program. So forth and so on. And so, although I'm very proud to be the district commander of the 12th district, my heart belongs to Americanism. So what does it mean to foster and perpetuate a 100% Americanism? Anyone? Anyone? Don't be scared. I don't bite. Just support. Support. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Yes, sir?
If you like those to the left and right of us, just as capable.
Okay. Left and right? What was that last part? Okay. All right. Anyone else? Let's see what the American Legion says about the third clause of the preamble.
To foster and perpetuate a 100% Americanism.
Americanism is the essential combination of freedom, justice, individual rights, and responsibilities that define us and what we stand for. Americanism is pride in country, expressed without reservation, and the duty Legionnaires have to impart patriotic values to new generations.
Okay. So, what does it mean to foster and perpetuate? What did you take from that?
Freedom, justice.
What's that?
Freedom and justice.
Freedom and justice, okay. All right, anyone else? Okay. One more time.
To foster and perpetuate a 100% Americanism.
Americanism is the essential combination of freedom, justice, individual rights, and responsibilities that define us and what we stand for. Americanism is pride in country, expressed without reservation, and the duty Legionnaires have to impart patriotic values to new generations.
To impart patriotic values to new generations. I've heard so much about the millennials and Gen Z and how they're not rising to the occasion. Well, what I would throw back at a person who says that is stop your whining. Join me in the American Legion or the auxiliary so we can fight the future fight of America. To impart those patriotic values to new generations. This pillar obviously represents Pillar 3, Americanism, and obviously there are more programs within Pillar 3, under Pillar 3. But today we're not going to talk about flag etiquette, we're not going to talk about voting. We're going to focus on imparting patriotic values to new generations. And we're going to focus on these 6 programs. And I am going to share with you stories and best practices on how you can revive your Pillar 3 programs, because they will get you members. Trust me, it works. As I said before, Joseph Campbell, the current 12th District Commander. I am temporary duty here, TDY, because as I also alluded to before, my heart belongs to Americanism. So why should you listen to me? Here are some of my credentials. 20 plus years of operations management, logistic planning process, leadership and training in the United States Army. I was awarded the Military Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal for service to Boy Scouts of America and Girl Scouts USA by the Army. In my personal life, I am an entrepreneur, which requires me to think outside of the box, and it demands creativeness, or else I don't eat. On the Legion side, at the post level, I helped create a baseball team from scratch. I happen to be a Texas Boys State Senior City Councilor, done that for about 7 or 8 years. And I'm in my 2nd year on the Boys Nation staff. I created a junior shooting sports team from scratch. I am a part of the National Oratorical Contest non-call-in staff. And everyone's familiar with non-call-in. It means you have to pay your own way. As I alluded to before, I was a COR for my post to our Scout Pack, and I was awarded the Scout Knot by past National Commander Helm. Right now, I'm currently working to develop the Youth Cadet Law Enforcement Program for the Department of Texas. And one of the things I'm most proud of is I'm a National American Legion College graduate, the only one from the Republic of Texas, 2016. So I share this with you not to blow smoke, okay, or not to make myself look better than I am. I share this with you because through running into brick walls, through hearing, no, you can't do that, okay, I have all the welts on my stomach and on my back of failed Americanism programs. I failed way more than I was successful. But again, today I'm going to share with you those different welts and how you can revive your programs at the post level, which will indirectly help your membership. So, having been the past district Americanism chairman and currently the district commander, district vice before that, I've tried to share some of these best practices. But all I hear is it can't be done. We tried that, it can't be done. It can't be done, it can't be done. No, it can be done. I'll show you the well right here. It can be done, okay? And so since I happen to be the guy in charge today, and I have your undivided attention, I'm going to show you how it can be done.
Is it true men are still trapped alive inside the Arizona?
We can hear tapping from inside. We're doing everything we can to get to them, but they're 40 feet below water.
We've been trained to think that we're invincible. And now our proudest ships has been destroyed by an enemy we considered inferior. We're on the ropes, gentlemen. That's exactly why we have to strike back now.
We're preparing an attack against the Marshall and Gilbert Islands.
I'm talking about hitting the heart of Japan, the way they have hit us.
Mr. President, Pearl Harbor caught us unawares because we didn't face facts. This isn't the time for ignoring them again. The Army Air Corps has long-range bombers, but no place to launch them. Midway is too far, and Russia won't allow us to launch a raid from there.
Admiral,
Navy's planes are small, they carry light loads and have a short range. We'd have to get them within a few hundred miles of Japan, and therefore risk our carriers. And if we lose our carriers, we'll have no shield against invasion.
does anyone in this room think that victory is possible without facing danger? We are at war. Of course there's a risk.
But consider the risk, Mr. President. If the Japanese invade us right now, they would penetrate as far as Chicago before we could stop them.
Gentlemen, most of you did not know me when I had the use of my legs. I was strong and proud and arrogant. Now I wonder every hour of my life why God put me into this chair. But when I see defeat in the eyes of my countrymen, in your eyes right now, I start to think that maybe He brought me down for times like these when we all need to be reminded who we truly are, that we will not give up or give in.
Mr. President, with all respect, sir, what you're asking can't be done.
Get back, George. Get back. Do not tell me it can't be done.
Please, stop telling me it can't be done. I'm going to show you how today, and we're going to begin here.
Responsible citizenship. American Legion youth programs have been defining that concept for generations. American Legion Boys State and Boys Nation have inspired future leaders, governors, members of Congress, astronauts, mayors, judges, business leaders, and even one president of the United States. American Legion Baseball has cultivated major league stars, World Series champions, Hall of Famers, coaches, educators, and even one Vietnam War Medal of Honor hero. American Legion oratorical contestants have gone on to successful careers in law, government, media, education, and entertainment, including a presidential candidate. American Legion junior shooting sports competitors have discovered what it takes to practice hard and perform individually to achieve excellence. As part of a team, including one Olympic gold medalist. Participants in the American Legion's Youth Cadet Law Enforcement learn from the best how to protect and serve the public, including hundreds of active officers and first responders across the country. These American Legion youth programs and others have one common denominator. No matter the competition or nature of it, be it on the baseball diamond, in front of a microphone, or peering into the center of a target, responsible citizenship is the driving force behind all of it. The American Legion was built on the ideal that the world's strongest nations are populated by citizens who understand and care about their country and all it stands for. And service to the country is a lifelong commitment, a responsibility. Whether you're in uniform or not, that ideal is etched in the hearts and souls of all those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Upon enlistment, each one swore with his or her life to protect, defend, and bear true faith and allegiance to our nation and its Constitution. Wartime veterans of the American Legion proudly lead youth programs because the future of a free, strong, and prosperous nation depends on responsible, active citizenship among young people. That is why the American Legion operates not to serve or please itself. The American Legion instead is built on selfless service. Veterans strengthening America. To understand the meaning of those words, consider the American Legion's most sacred purposes: care, compassion, and respect for all U.S. military veterans who sacrifice some or all of their lives so we can live in freedom. Support for the men and women who continue to take the oath, pledging to stand in harm's way, no matter the danger, as members of our nation's armed forces. Reverence for our flag and pride in all it symbolizes, at home and around the world. Honored remembrance of all who served before us. Urgent, effective response to catastrophes and unexpected challenges, from hurricanes and floods to a global pandemic that disrupt our way of life. A chance to succeed for children who face difficulties not of their making, victims of abuse, neglect, disease, or disaster, education and career opportunities through millions of dollars in college scholarships every year. And of course, provision of youth programs that help future generations of Americans become proud, responsible citizens and community leaders. The American Legion is the nation's largest veteran service organization. Together with the American Legion Auxiliary and the Sons of the American Legion, we number nearly 3 million in all 50 states and around the world. We come in all ages, shapes, colors, and sizes. Men and women proud to have served and determined to continue driving forward the importance of responsible citizenship through what we call individual obligation to the community, state, and nation. This is nothing new. For over a century, the all-volunteer American Legion has been making positive differences in our nation. The American Legion drafted GI Bill of Rights, educated tens of millions, and stimulated decades of economic prosperity, not just in the United States, but around the world. The American Legion has held government accountable and demanded fair treatment of veterans who came home disabled or changed by wartime service. The American Legion has demanded attention and support for a strong national defense in times of war and peace alike. The U.S. flag code was born of American Legion advocacy. So was the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall, and numerous laws and ordinances that seek to keep our communities, states, and nation free, safe, and prosperous. The American Legion played an important support role in the success of such organizations as the American Heart Association, the American Psychiatric Association, and has stood as an important ally to the National Education Association, the American Red Cross, and of course, the Department of Veterans Affairs. The American Legion is composed of no particular political party. Nonpartisanship is written into our Constitution. The American Legion believes that all people of our nation are entitled to fair and equal justice, freedom, and democracy. Above all, the American Legion believes in the power of veterans strengthening America. And the cornerstone of that belief, from blood donors to classroom volunteers, is responsible citizenship in a land that veterans know especially is one worth serving.
First of 6 programs, baseball. What I'll do is I'll go over the slides, and then I'll share my best practices, and then you are welcome to share your best practices. All right? At the bottom, you'll see a reference. And they all come from the Legion Times. Those are all articles that I wrote probably around 2016, 2017, 2018. So in this first slide, this is my article, 2017. All right? Or I'm sorry, September 2017. And then below that is an article written by the great Don Toohey, which his article is actually better than my article. If you use these references, it goes into more detail on how you can divide these programs. All right. So baseball played in all 50 states. If you did not know, 60% of the major leaguers are alumni of the American Legion baseball program. 2 leagues: U17, U19. You see the ages up there. The season is technically from May to August, but you can begin registering in January, and you'll hear that theme throughout. Most of these programs you can begin registering roughly around the January time frame. The insurance cost is $400 for U17, $500, roughly $500 for U19. Another theme that you will see is with most of these Americanism programs, we offer scholarships. So you see the amount of the baseball scholarship, $500 up to 10 times that amount. Best practices, all right? One of the issues I had was UIL, Texas UIL, okay? And basically, in layman's terms, UIL restricts the time that a coach can spend with a player. So let's say you have a local high school baseball coach coaches one of his players that you want on your Legion post team, okay? Most likely, the coach is going to tell you no, because I don't want anyone talking to my player or teaching them bad habits. So, because I support my veterans, I will join your post team. Coach from the high schools on your post team, player from your local high schools on your post team, that's a violation of UIL. So how did I get past it? I fought the long fight. I went to my local YMCA, Airport City's YMCA. I found a bunch of 10-year-olds that were playing baseball. And I convinced my post to give me a couple of dollars to throw at them to pay for equipment and things of that sort. All right? And so that allowed us the opportunity to place the Legion banner at all of their games, which helped us with recruitment. Okay, but we also served our community. So after each game, these kids would come up, give me a hug, we love you, Mr. Campbell, blah, blah, blah. Parents are, fist bumping me and so forth and so on. So we did that for 1 year, 2 year, and 3 year. By that time, they were all 13-year-olds. And so then I asked for a payment for my efforts. You want to thank me? Then come represent my post as our Legion baseball team. And that's what we did. We had those kids for a couple of years. And I will tell you that that team has followed me because of their loyalty to me. And now they're your district baseball team. And we plan on competing this year. All right, So some folks may complain about the insurance cost. One thing you can do is to get the parents to pay for it. And you say, well, how is that possible? Why would the parents want to pay? Well, does anyone have any idea how expensive rec ball may be? Anyone have any kids who play rec ball? I think the cheapest amount is like $2,500 up to, and it goes up, you know, $5,000, $6,000, so forth and so on. All right, someone with a cell phone, type this number in. $500 divided by 15 players. Can you do that for me? 500, unless you're really good at math. $33, okay? $33 is what the parent needs to pay in order for their kid to be a possible alumni of Legion Baseball. So you throw in uniforms on their equipment, so forth and so on. It's not going to cost more than a couple hundred bucks, okay? So you're getting parents to pay a tenth of the amount, and they are in a representative league with other Legion Baseball teams. All right, and then if you also have an issue with players, then you can team up with other posts. Would anyone else like to share best practices for Legion Baseball? Okay. Moving on. Old Boys State. 49 out of the 50 states have a program. Okay? Hawaii is the only state without a program. They send their young men to their sister state in Alaska. Participants are rising seniors. Boys State always starts the first Saturday after the June SAT. It's the same every year, except when you're in the middle of COVID. So this year's Boys State is the 27th of June through the 3rd of July. See the cost? If you're in the middle of COVID, it's $100 for virtual Boys State, $400 if you're in a regular year. All right. The tuition for Boys State is only $300, $295. But the tradition we've started here in the 12th district is that we give them an additional $100. That money is for them to pay for food going down to Austin and back up, for them to buy additional t-shirts when they get to Boys State, and for them to have a couple of coins so that they can pay their filing fees as they negotiate the program. Best practices. You can find other participants through youth activities, and that's what I did. The first Boy Staters I sent as the Americanism chairman for my post were from my scout troop. Okay, so if you're associated with youth through 4-H or Future Farmers of America or what have you, reach out to them and invite them to Boy State. Remember, they have to be rising seniors in order to participate. You see the scholarships here? That's the Samson Scholarship. The American Legion awards 10 $10,000 scholarships, $10,000 scholarships, and 10 $5,000 scholarships, and 30 $1,000 scholarships. So Samsung, like your Samsung phone, that's who provides it, the Samsung company. And all they're doing is saying thank you for America for intervening in the Korean War. Best practices. Find participants who other youth activities, talk about that. Demand that participants provide you the name of 3 potential candidates. And what I mean by that is when they come back from Boys State or Blue Bonnet Girls State, they're on fire. And they want to talk about everything that they learned. They're on fire so much that they might even run for local office, which has happened several times before. So you got this 19, 20-year-old mayor who's a recent graduate of Boys State of some little city within Texas. Grab them at that time and say, you want to thank me? Okay, give me 3 names next year of people who could attend, who you think would fit into the Boys State program. Okay, you've already participated in the program, you're going back to school, 3 names. And that way you can grow your program. All right, seek out donors and participants who were Boys State and Girls State graduates. Some of these politicians around locally, a lot of them participated in Boys State and they love the program. And I'll tell you a real quick story about an interaction between me and one of our local politicians. So I happen to be representing my post at a chamber meeting. And I'm standing in line to talk to this particular politician because I want to see if he can come down and speak at Boys State. So standing there like I'm getting my COVID vaccine, you know, moving up step by step, and I have my Legion cover on. I get to this person and I say, hey, are you familiar with Boys State? And before I could get the E out of my mouth, he cut me off. Boom. Yes, that's where I learned everything there is to know about politics. That's where I lost my first elections. He just goes on and on and on and on. And so, of course, all the other haters that were there trying to kiss his butt or staring at me like, who is this guy? And why is our representative talking to him with such passion? So they're out there. You just gotta look at their profile and then seek them out. Would anyone else like to share best practices for Boys State in reviving that program? All right, junior shooting sports. And I will tell you, since you all are so shy today, you can always reach out to me or the District Americanism chairman to get this information at a later date. I'd be happy to drive out to your post and discuss it with you one-on-one, or we can do it over Zoom or what have you. All right, so junior shooting sports. Participants are under 18 that shoot with a 4.5 millimeter caliber air rifle. 3 phases in junior shooting sports. Basic marksmanship includes you bringing new people in, teaching them about weapon safety, teaching them everything that you know from your military experience concerning the use of weapons. Qualification awards, that phase is where after they've learned everything they need to know about weapons use and safety, they go out and participate in local competitions, all right? And they have to find those themselves. You can help them find them if you like. And then the third phase is the air rifle competition, which basically that's where the Legion really gets involved. And they will send targets to you. You can have your people shoot, and then hopefully they'll win a scholarship from that or a ticket to Colorado Springs to the national competition. So if they are selected to be the representative, then they get 1 free ticket for themselves, obviously, a free ticket for a parent, okay, and then of course board in Sea Springs, or a room in Sea Springs, okay. 3 categories: individual precision, individual sporter, and 4-person. The difference between precision and sporter is the type of rifle. The precision rifles are super high speed. The sporter rifles are the ones you can probably get at your local Walmart store. Okay? 3 position tournaments, prone, sitting, and standing. The cost of the targets from nationals is $12.50. Not expensive at all. Okay? And the way it goes is you bring the targets to them, they shoot them, they send them up to nationals, okay? After they're certified by a Legionnaire, okay? The best shooters will be presented with another opportunity for to be a state champion. They shoot the targetry again, goes back to nationals. Nationals selects the top shooters from the state, from each state or department, and then those individuals fly to Sea Springs, okay? The season is from February to July. That's when you actually shoot, but you can start registering in January, as I said before, with baseball. Scholarship amounts you see there. Best practice. This is the best practice for me. This one helped me a lot, okay? It takes a lot of energy to go out and find young people that may be interested in firing weapons. So what you can do is reach out to your local high school, okay, and who has an ROTC program, and ask them, hey, you want the chance of winning a $1,000 to $5,000 scholarship just for shooting? Okay, well, what do I have to do? You stay here for 5 additional minutes. I'm going to bring you the targets, okay? And if they say no, then talk to their parents. So you skip phase 1 and 2, and you should jump right to phase 3. Is that not right, post 569?
Yes.
You want to talk about your national winner a couple of years ago?
A few years ago, we got in with Pascal High School. They have our ROTC program, and they had shooters, and one of them was a female, and she ended up winning the national championship. But it was that easy. They had the ROTC program. We just had to validate the shoot. Ray and I went to validate the shoot. They shot on their course. They're at Pascal High School. We validated the targets, set them up, and the team advanced. Actually, the team advanced, but their shooter, I believe they went to Colorado Springs that year.
Sea Springs.
But yes, but she ended up winning the national championship for the whole country. She won the whole shooting match. So, yeah, it was that easy.
Anyone else? Yes, Joe.
Piggybacking on the question you asked a few minutes ago about help both with both programs, Boys State and the shooting program would be your ROTC advisors. A couple of schools, that's where I would go, to my ROTC. I need, after talking with them over years, you know, they would know what I'm looking for when I walk in. They usually will have a bunch of names for me. The other thing is, if your school does not have an ROTC program, then your next best friend is not the principal, but it's the junior class counselor. And that individual usually is with that group of kids in the 9th grade. They follow them on up in the 10th grade, and by the time they get to the 11th grade, they know who the top 10 or who the top kids are and the young men. So that saved me a lot of times, is that I would just walk in, I want to see so-and-so who's a junior class counselor, and I would walk in and right out, just first thing in, we have some boys for you. Okay? And those are two things, those are two sources that to build up your program, you want to look at. They'll do the work for you. You just let them know what it is you want.
Excellent. That's an excellent point. Yeah, the school counselors can help you literally with all of these programs. You just shoot them the dates, and they'll get you the people. Especially if it's free, number one, and two, it offers some type of scholarship. Any other best practices? Okay, high school oratorical competition. Any high school student under the age of 20, okay? Some of us are held back, so that's why it's 20 and not 18, like junior shooting sports, okay? Basically, the high school oratorical competition is broken up into two phases. An 8 to 10 minute speech on the United States Constitution. That young person can say whatever they want. Then at least a 5-minute break, followed by a 3 to 5 minute speech on one of the 4 articles for that year. So each year, the articles change. And the young person will not know which article they will speak on during the 3 to 5 minute oration until the day of the competition. Actually, they won't know until they've given their 8 to 10 minute speech, okay? So, it's not that complicated. I don't know, for some reason, a lot of people are intimidated by running a high school rhetorical contest, but it's not that hard. 8 to 10 minutes, 5-minute break, 3 to 5 minutes. That's simple. Okay. Cost at the post level is supposed to be your certificate. You're not supposed to give them money, even though I messed up a couple of years, I gave them money. You're supposed to give them a post certificate. The district winner receives $150. The division winner receives $750. At the department level, you got all 4 division winners competing. First place winner receives $2,000, second place $1,500, third place $1,000, fourth place is $500. Okay? Then the department winner goes to the national competition in Indianapolis. And just for arriving, they get $1,500. Again, the American Legion pays for 1 ticket for the competitor and then 1 chaperone, and then they get more room. Okay? And then once you advance to the next level, to the semifinals, that's another $1,500. And then the top 3 winners receive $25,000 for number 1, $22,500 for place 2, and then $20,000 for place 3. Plus everything they won, all those purse strings, all the way down to the post level. The season is usually from October to April. However, the amendments come out a little bit before that, probably around the summertime. I already talked about the scholarship amount. Okay, best practice. When I used to sit on the board for our boys to interview our boys staters, or potential boys stater, I would ask one question. Do you know about the high school oratorical competition? And that's it. And everybody else would ask their questions. Do you believe in America, you're communist, and all this other stuff. High school oratorical, I would focus on that. And what you'll find is because these young men are type A people, they may be in a debate team or speech club or what have you. Again, when they come back from Boys State and they're on fire, in addition to asking them for 3 names for next year, you can say, hey, I remember you said that you're on the debate team. Come back to the high school oratorical competition and compete in the high school oratorical competition and represent our post in October. All right, reach out to local schools and out-of-school speech and debate teams. The great Fred Rogers, past department vice commander, he does a great job of keeping us up to date with our local speech and debate teams, and we usually kick that out to you all. So anyone else want to talk about best practices for high school rhetorical? Yes, sir.
Jim's kid got selected to go up. We had a mock board for him. Better prepare him. And he spread that amongst his classmates all week.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because of the pandemic, we didn't actually have enough people to do it, and what definitely helped prepare my son was everybody coming in and kind of doing a mock one, so that helped and gave him a lot more confidence. And just the simple fact he did that, he made friends with all the other people that he was going against, and he pumped up for next year. So.
Your son competed this year?
Yes, sir.
We talked. I didn't realize that it was you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, your son did very well.
Yes.
Did very, very well. Absolutely. Any other best practices? Okay, getting close, almost, ladies and gentlemen. All right, scouting. Basically, ages K through 20. There are 5 sub-organizations under scouting, right? We have the Cub Scouts, K through 5, they're the ages. Arrow of Light is the highest award, okay? Scouts, BSA, and all of these organizations, yes, they have females within their formation. 11 through 17, highest award is Eagle Scout. This is the most widely known sub-organization, okay? If a Cub Scout comes from scouting with the Arrow of Light, you can actually start at 10. But by the time you turn 18, you either have your Eagle Scout or you don't. You have to leave the program. We do have a program called Venturing, which focuses on high adventure activities, such as rafting, rappelling, and long extended marches. We have Sea Scouting, okay, same ages, 14 to 20, highest award is Quartermaster Award, focuses on sailing and things of that sort, okay, whether it's a sunbeam boat or up to some large boat, but it has to have a sail in order for the Sea Scouts to do. And then we have exploring. I'd like to focus on this for a little bit, ages 10 to 20. Basically what exploring is the Scouts focus on one of 16 disciplines, okay? So in the example I'm going to use, I will talk about the culinary discipline. So what you have Scouts that meet every week or every 2 weeks, or whatever they choose, and they meet probably at a restaurant, maybe at, someone's house to discuss, the culinary arts. And their uniform will probably, consist of slacks and a chef's coat or something like that, all right? Another discipline, one of the 16 disciplines I was talking about before, another discipline is law, like law and order law. So they might meet at a courthouse, what have you, different type of uniform, so forth and so on. My favorite discipline is law enforcement. Okay, so I used to be associated with the Law Enforcement Explorers Post. And basically when they showed up, they looked like police academy cadets. Had combat boots on, black pants, had a nice polo on with a badge. They would meet at the police department. Okay. Cost is basically cost to your post to sponsor a scout unit or to charter a scout unit is a place for them to meet and a place for them to store their equipment. That's it. You don't have to pay anything else. All right? And then you could get a lot of free labor from them, too. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. In scouting, we teach service. And so a lot of times they're looking for service projects. So all those things that your fellow Legionnaire refuses to do, get the Scouts to do it. It's a win-win situation. I know at my post, during my time, I think we did like 7 Eagle Scout projects and just really raked in doing that. All right, and then the only scholarship we're scouting is the Eagle Scout of the Year scholarship. At the department level, the department winner wins $800, and then the top person in the nation wins $10,000. Unfortunately, this year we didn't have any representatives from the 12th district win anything, for the simple reason that the Legion changed their requirements in order for you to submit your application. So in the past, all you needed was to be an Eagle Scout, okay, in high school, an Eagle Scout in high school, all right, and be related to a Legionnaire, auxiliary member, or SAO member, or your troop was chartered by a Legion post. Now, this year, the Legion threw on another requirement. You have to earn the religious square now. So that caught us off guard. So, if you want to start a scout unit, okay. If you want to start a scout unit, you can reach out to Longhorn Council, which is here locally in Fort Worth, or you can reach out to the district scouting chairman, Steve Kristoff from 297. You want to stand up, sir? You may not know you. Okay. Or again, you can reach out to myself. All right. Any questions, any best practices concerning scouting? All right, one more. Youth Cadet Law Enforcement Program. This is an initiative that we've started in Texas. And the reason the text is in italics is because it's not an official program yet in Texas. Currently, 21 departments have a program, and I intend, before I'm done, to start this one in Texas. I have 100% buy-in from the DEC, from what I can tell, and during the department convention this summer, we'll vote it in as an official program, with our first class date being September 22. The way I envision this is that we will open it up to all high school students, not rising seniors. And the reason we want to do that is because we pump so many through Boys State and Bluebonnet Girls State, 1,000 through Boys State, roughly 500 through Bluebonnet Girls State, that the law enforcement program only produces, it'll only produce 20 to 30 cadets per year. So we want to open that up. All right. The dates that I have templated are 2 weeks after Boys State and Girls State and before July. And the reason it's in that time period is in July, Boys Nation and Girls Nation kicks off, and we want to give every young person in Texas the opportunity to participate in this program. So no scholarships at this time because it's a national program, but not enough states are participating, but we can fix that. The best practices for now. All right. Remember I talked about the Police Explorer Scouts? What you can do is you can go to your local police department that has an Explorer post, okay, and say, hey, I would like to sponsor 1 or 2 of your young people to your annual Police Law Enforcement Leadership Academy. And basically what that is these different police departments with these different Explorer posts get together in the summer and provide an academy, whether it's 1 week or 2 weeks, it depends on the area. And the cost is like $150, maybe $200. So you go to them and approach them and say, hey, we'd like to sponsor 1, 2, 3, 20 of your cadets. All right? And in exchange, we'd like for you to put the Legion emblem on your documentation. Oh, and by the way, thank you for your service. Here's an application. So that's one way to start this program at your post, even though we don't have one at the department level yet, but it's coming. Any questions? All right. So what I'd like to do now is hand out the Americanism bulletin. Yes. Yeah. Whoever wants one. This is the annual bulletin that comes out from the national headquarters that talks about each of our Americanism programs. It's produced by the National Americanism Chairman. So, one thing I'd like to highlight on this document, or within this document, if you look here under Boys State, it basically says last year, no departments completed Boys State except for the Republic of Texas, where we completed virtual Boys State, and I'm very, very proud of that. That being said, again, 4 pillars, 10 clauses of the preamble. The only one directly addressed, and you can read it if you want, if you don't have it memorized, is Americanism. Again, I am proud to be within the ranks of this district. I am proud to have served as your district commander, but my heart belongs to Americanism. It can be done. This is a picture of my family. The lady up top is my late wife, who died of brain cancer 4 years ago. When we discovered that she had CAC4 brain cancer, okay, we were told, you're not going to get more than a year out of her, maybe 6 months at the most. So remember, President Biden's son, Beau Biden, lasted about half a year. Ted Kennedy lasted under a year, okay? But we were all fighting. And we got a good 3 years out of her. These two Trump snatchers here are my children. When they started showing interest in the military, we started talking about the academies. And I remember this Aggie, who had been in the Corps of Cadets, told me, hey man, you can get one into the academy, but not two. That's next to impossible. Well, I will tell you, Vanessa is a former member of the United States Air Force Academy class of 2019. My son, Joey, is a junior in the United States Marine Corps Bulldog program at the Air Force Academy. So it can be done. And that's, again, this is not to blow smoke. It's just if you believe and you fight hard enough and you have the information, almost anything can be done. So that being said, I open the floor to any questions. Okay, since everyone's so shy, did you have something to say?
No, I just had a question about the Samsung scholarship,
Yeah.
the oratorical program.
Yeah.
Those are awarded at the national level. Is that where they're awarded?
So the Samsung Scholarship is, you start the process when you reach boys state or girls state. And I'll tell you right now that, and I should have mentioned this during the briefing, that if you are not a descendant of a Korean War veteran, you're not going to get the scholarship. That's just the way the point system works. Okay? And so you start at boys state, and then all those applications get kicked up to nationals, and whoever the crazy person is at national that looks at all the applications figures it all out. Okay? Oratorical, that's, what was your question about oratorical?
No, the Samsung scholarship.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Any other questions? All right. So, that being said, I love this picture. That guy's really, really handsome. So, if you don't already have my contact information, it's there. Feel free to reach out to me by any means, email, phone, or what have you. I'd be happy to share with you even more best practices in order to get your post up and running again with some of these programs. Again, it will affect membership because what happens is the veterans will start to come out of the woodwork. Right now they hide in the formation because they don't want to join your French Foreign Legion He-Man Womanators Club. Okay? But if you take care of their children and you offer them scholarships or things of that sort, or the opportunity for them to get a scholarship, they'll start to come out of the woodwork. Right? So, thank you for your time. The time is now 10:57. Let's go ahead and break until 11:30. Thank you.